Hello, this is Indigo. In the previous updates, Bloodstrike added another game-changing feature, the 120 FOV. I've seen a lot of feedbacks online, saying that their gameplay suddenly improved after switching to 120 FOV. While others complain that they can't see their enemies well, especially in longer distances, and also experiencing frequent FPS drops after switching to 120 FOV. I'll try my best to explain everything regarding FOV, so make sure to finish this video so you won't miss any important info. Before we begin, let's first define FOV. FOV stands for field of view. It is essentially the width of the player's perspective in the game. Here's a quick comparison of the different FOV values. Having the right FOV is just as important as having the right sensitivity. Let's move on to the pros and cons of a high FOV. So what is the importance of having a higher FOV? It helps you to have a wider view of your surroundings. This will help you spot nearby enemies, as well as unexpected surprise attacks from campers. Movement becomes a bit easy with a higher FOV. You don't need to do extra movements since you have a wider view. Having a higher FOV might be helpful in spotting nearby enemies, but as you increase your FOV, you will have a hard time spotting enemies in long distances. This is a big disadvantage, especially to players that have a poor eyesight. Having a higher FOV will also affect your FPS. A higher FOV means a wider view angle, resulting in more additional objects shown on your screen. Rendering this additional information takes time and adds more workload on your devices. To solve this problem, you need to lower your graphical settings. Having a stable FPS is much better than having excellent graphics. If you have a poor eyesight and you want to have a high FOV and wider view, then I suggest you stick with the independent FOV option. This will help you have a zoom-in view when you aim. In this way, you will not have a problem against enemies in long range. If you want to know more about these FOV options, you can check this video on my channel. Does having a higher FOV make you move faster? The answer is no. It just seems faster because of the wider perspective. You are still moving at the same speed to a player with a lower FOV. Next are the pros and cons of a low FOV. A low FOV will enable you to see your enemies more clearly. A lower FOV will make you see less of your surroundings, and will give you the feeling of moving very slow. The only good thing about having a low FOV is that you can see your enemies more clearly, and less FPS drops, because your device won't need to render additional resources. But having a very low FOV is also not very good. It's quite difficult to see nearby enemies, because you have less vision on your surroundings. While it's important to see enemies in long distances, being able to sense nearby enemies is also important, since they have the higher chance to eliminate you, compared to enemies in long range. Now this brings us to a question. What should be your FOV value? There are a few factors that you need to consider in deciding your FOV, such as device, eyesight, playstyle, and weapon preference. If you are using a tablet or an iPad, it would be much better if you max your FOV since you have a bigger screen. If you are playing on a phone, you'll need to weigh the things that you need. Like for example, you want to have a wider view, and you are not bothered with your enemies looking smaller, then go for a higher FOV. If you prefer to see your enemies more clearly, then a lower FOV value would be much better for you. If you are an aggressive player who likes close-range gunfights, go for a higher FOV as it will help you see more of your surroundings. While if you are a passive player who likes long-range gunfights, then choose a lower value. But if you want to have a balanced view, values between 80 to 90 FOV would be good for you. It all comes down to your preference and comfortability. That's all for this video. Have you decided on your FOV value? Comment down below and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.